Oh, how good. Check this out, guys. Dad's just been over to shift the calving cows and he's brought 3 back. I'm not sure if they've all calved. That one there doesn't look like it has, but she must be close if he's brought her back, which is real awesome because without those 3 in the calving mob, there's only 9 left to go, so we're into single figures. Number are you, girl? Number 75. Definitely 3 today. 1 more down. And definitely only 9 to go now, so the end is getting closer. So I'm just having a little look here on my app, and the ones in orange are cows that have gone past their calving date, and the ones here in blue are the ones left to calve. So 75 she calved today, and it says that she was due tomorrow, and there's only 6 left, so there's 9 in the paddock, so I do need to fill them out. Orange means they haven't been filled out on the computer. I need to do that because these ones up here that are grey have been. So I was just having a look really to see what dates they were sort of due. So the 17th, there's 2, 22nd 1, and today's the 15th, so they're not too far away. And the last 3 are sort of on the 26th and 27th. So the end of the month, they're another sort of a week to 2 weeks away. And while I'm there, I thought I'd show you the weather forecast. So we've got suns for the next 4 days. But good morning everyone and welcome back, and also a big welcome to everyone that has subscribed recently. I had a couple of videos do quite well and a heap of you guys have jumped on board and started following, so that is awesome. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button while you're at it, that'd be cool too. But today we're having a little bit of a tidy up. Oh, there's a bit of barbed wire. So this is on the agenda for today, or the first thing that's on, and it's to clean up this pile of old hedge burnings that we have here. There used to be a hedge along this fence line here and down here, but we pulled it out and put an electric fence back up, and these are the remains. I've been meaning to tidy up this pile for ages, so finally getting a chance to do it, but will be good now that it's gone. There were a couple of others around too. There's one in that paddock over there, and then 2 at the end down there. They're all gone, but it's good to get little jobs done like this. It's good. We're getting a little bit more free time in the day now that carving's sort of coming to a close. Dad's just going to dump that load off, and then he's going to come back and I'm going to bucket all of this in there and get it nice and flat. We can chuck some grass seed around. But check this out, this is one of the paddocks that I strip sprayed. It's going into maize, and you can see the brown lines going down there. Up on the hill it shows quite well. So it's starting to die off in those rows. I did it on Sunday, today's Thursday. So it's happened quite quickly, eh? Well, that's certainly tidied things up, so I've just run the bucket along on the bottom and just sort of try and flatten it out. The cows will sort of walk on here and do a better job when they come in here next. Oh look, there's a big bit of wood. It's actually root, it's hedge root, that stuff. the ignition's not quite right on that tractor, so it won't start by itself. Really probably need to get that looked at, because the only way to start it is pull starting it like that. I had a delivery yesterday, so I got some more lime flour and also some mag oxide. And it's come in this bag, they call it a sling. I've never got one of these before, but that is 1.2 tonne. And they're usually, or a pallet is usually about a tonne. I've also got some more calf meal, but I've put it over in the shed over there next to the calves. But what I want to do is really just have a good tidy up in here, because I've got stuff for Africa. There's mag or drenching mag there. There's a few bags of various stuff, then mag oxide, some real cheap stuff that didn't go through the drench gun very well, also some other stuff, plus zinc. So I just want to tidy all this lot up, because quite frankly it is just a massive mess in here, and there's nothing better than when it's nice and clean and tidy. So the hardest part though is making a start, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going to start. Once you move something though, you're into it. Jeez, the weather's so unpredictable at the moment. Where did this little rain shower come from? Unreal. Well, that looks a lot tidier, a lot more space here now too. Plus it's good having the minerals all down at this end, because this is where I put them in the bucket, so a little less walking, and the zinc's alright there because we won't start putting that until sort of middle of summer. Well, it's the next day now. I ran out of time yesterday, but good news, we also had another calf this morning, so only 8 to go now. But as we are coming into spring, I guess you could say we are having a big spring clean of the area down here. So I've done the shed, and what we're going to do now, or we're planning to do, just tidy up around the yard here a little bit. There was a heap of old posts and just wood and stuff in here that we've pulled out, so now we're going to spray this off and keep it nice and clean, not let the grass get away too much like it was before. Those are the tyres that have come off the silage stack, so we're going to keep them there because we need to reuse them. But there were some others that were in here that we've sort of pulled off and taken away. And it's the same for around here too. So we've got the trailer, all these tyres that are along here, we're going to put on the trailer and take them away, because theoretically we only need the ones that are on the stack at the moment. And what we're going to do is spray all this grass down here, get it nice and sort of tidy-ish looking, and probably get in here and flatten this area out too, make it nice and smooth. Then we'll put that real thick weed mat over the top so this grass can't grow up back through it, because there's not really much point having any grass along here, because nothing gets in and grazes it. We don't let anything in this side of the fence. So we'll get that weed mat down and then probably gravel this area, and then we'll have a nice sort of big storage space, I guess, so we can store sort of loader attachments for the front end loader, like buckets and just stuff like that. Trailers, have a place for the trailer, and hopefully get this area a little bit tidier than it is now. There's just heaps of things in here that we need to get rid of, so maybe that culvert there we can probably use or keep for somewhere, but these other ones, they sort of need to go. They're just not big enough for what we're putting in now, and I think they might be potentially homemade, and the homemade ones that are in the ground at the moment are rotting out and collapsing, so there's not really much point in keeping those. This silage wagon we had kept over there where that trailer was, but we've pulled it out. It's going to go to town. We've found somewhere close by that we can drop it off at and scrap it, because it's just got a heap of scrap metal in it. There's also the other one over there which we need to do the same with. So over the next sort of couple of weeks we'll sort of get there slowly, but this is another big area in here where there's not much point having grass, because like I said, we don't graze it, or it's just too annoying to graze. So it's nice and flat how it is. Probably does need, well, maybe in the summer when the digger comes back, hopefully we can get the digger back just to sort of level it out a little bit, and then put that weed matting over, and probably that area as well, and gravel it, because it's just another good space that we can store stuff in. There's not too much there now, just an old roller in there which I do use from time to time. and a few loader attachments. Like I've got the forks here, and there is an old feed pad scraper just there, but that's probably seen better days, so that can probably get biffed. There's an old culvert here, and I reckon this would definitely be homemade. Ian would have probably made this one, so that's seen better days. There's not much point putting that back in. And that can probably go to scrap. There's an old calf pen there, don't really need that anymore. I've got this old diesel tank here too, which probably needs to go to scrap. So I did ring up about getting diesel in there, and they said they won't deliver to tanks that have got tripod legs or 3 legs like that. I'm not sure if it's through regulations or they just don't want to do it, so that's fine, but that can pretty much go to scrap now then, because it's redundant. All these offcuts of iron, that needs to go to scrap, but this stuff here I quite like. So there's an old wagon wheel, although it's been in the ground and the sort of legs have rusted out there, but I quite like keeping these old things because they would have been on farm at some point. And there's these old swamp harrows. These are up at home. Pop used these, I know that. And I think, see how there's like an S-bend, so it comes like this, and one side's a bit longer than the other. See, oh, you can actually see there, so that's the short side, and then these are a bit longer sticking up. So I think that if you wanted to do it a bit deeper, you'd use one side, and then if you wanted to go shallower, you'd go on the other one. We don't have a lot of old stuff on farm. It's sort of been sold off over time, I guess you could say, so it is quite cool keeping old things like that. Those swamp harrows, Pop would have broken a lot of ground in with them when he was young. Would have been 100 years ago, or coming up 100 years ago. But that'll pretty much do it for this video, guys. I hopefully see a little bit of progress over the next sort of few months. We probably won't get gravel in and that weed matting done until the summer. We'll just keep all this area sprayed off until then, and nice and tidy. But that's the plans anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, remember, like always, thumbs up, and apart from that, see you next time.